Wing, W-I-N-G, for the Wingstop fans out there. They reported a solid quarter of same-store sales growth as other quick-service restaurants slumped, citing a slowdown in customer demand. So why are customers willing to shell out the cash for wings here? Here with some insight, we've got Michael Skipworth, Wingstop CEO, and our very own Brooke DiPalma. Great to have you here with us, Michael. I mean, look, we were chewing on these. I couldn't resist it. We were chewing on these results here from you guys, and ultimately got to know, what were some of the biggest takeaways from the quarter? What are you seeing in the consumer right now?
Hey, Brad. Good morning. Thanks for having me. I think Wingstop's in a very different position than any other brand out there. You mentioned it earlier. A lot of other brands are seeing transaction loss. Customers are going away, not going there as frequently, and it's the opposite at Wingstop. We had a 21.6% same-store sales growth in the first quarter, and that was primarily driven by transactions, new guests, new occasions coming into the brand, and that's on top of 20% growth quarter one a year ago. So 40% growth in 2 years, which is pretty incredible. And I really think it speaks to the fact that we continue to focus on delivering value and quality. That indulgent Wingstop occasion, something that consumers are starting to really appreciate as they see others taking price. We've been very disciplined with our approach to pricing, and it's paying dividends for our brand right now.
Michael, Wingstop did increase its 2024 outlook for sales growth to low double digits here in the U.S. What are you seeing so far in April and Q2 that gives you confidence that this momentum will sustain?
Brooke, I really think it has to do with the fact that the growth strategies that we're executing against have a lot of runway in them. We talked about our growing ad fund. Our system sales grew by 37% in the first quarter. So that's almost 40% more dollars that we can go invest in advertising. We talked about being on NFL playoffs for the first time, but yet we were only on 2 games, 1 spot in each game on a 4-game weekend. And so there's a ton of runway for us. We have a lot of momentum in the brand, and it gives us confidence as we continue to execute against these strategies that we can continue to bring new guests in and drive outsized results against the industry.
Michael, I want to hear a little bit more about that new guest. In the call, you said that you're seeing gains across all cohorts, all income levels. But with this new guest, they tend to be a bit more higher income. What can you say about that guest, and how does it compare to the traditional Wingstop customer?
Yeah, our traditional Wingstop guest, it does index a little bit more towards that lower income, but we continue to see growth within that cohort. But what we're really excited about, in Q1, we had a record level of new guests coming into the brand. And these new guests, they are a little bit more middle class, a little bit higher income. They index digitally or prefer to engage with brands digitally, and they have a higher average check than our traditional guests. They're less likely to have children at home, think millennial, Gen Z. And the thing we like the most about it is they're coming back to us sooner than our traditional guests, and they're moving up that frequency curve faster, which is pretty exciting for us.
Michael, I wonder, what does menu innovation look like from this juncture for Wingstop? That is the way that you get people into these new orders, whether they be delivery or in-store or on-premise. What does that look like, and what's the roadmap there?
Yeah, the beautiful thing about our brand at Wingstop is we have a very simple model, simple menu. The way we actually innovate is around flavor. We lean into LTO flavors like hot honey rub, which we have right now, that consumers love and enjoy. And then we use the vehicles, whether it's a chicken sandwich, tenders, boneless wings, or classic bone-in wings. And we're able to meet guests wherever they are. We added chicken sandwich just 2 years ago to our menu. That's really been the last menu innovation we've had, and one of the very few over our 30 years. But there's 2.4 billion chicken sandwich occasions served in the U.S. annually, and we think we have a ton of runway to win our fair share.
Michael, you did say hyper-personalization is something that you're leaning into, especially on My Wingstop. How do you think this will increase guest frequency and also increase ticket size?
That's right. Our digital sales for the first quarter were a record 68% of total sales, and that's allowed us to amass a database of over 40 million users strong. And we've invested in this data, enriched the data that allows us to not only inform our marketing strategy, but with the launch of our proprietary tech stack, My Wingstop, we're able to lean into hyper-personalization and really personalize that consumer order journey that we believe will bring guests back sooner, bringing them back more frequently, and drive check as well, which we're pretty excited about.
Michael, businesses are looking for opportunities to improve efficiencies, and one of those areas is in the ordering process, especially in the process of making deliveries and fulfilling orders here. And some are testing out robotics. What does that look like for Wingstop right now?
I think for Wingstop, it really speaks to the simplicity of our model I mentioned earlier. Our average unit volume is about $1.9 million, and you can run a $1.9 million Wingstop with as few as 4 team members in the restaurant. So there's not a lot of labor to take out. 94% of our sales are off premise, and so it's really a point of distribution. And so fans, where we've invested and where consumers like to engage with our brand is through digital ordering, as I mentioned earlier. So we've invested there to ensure we have a best-in-class digital ordering experience, and we're serving them flavor to our guests.
Very quickly, Michael, Rick Ross does own 30 franchise locations. We're here on Wealth. We're always talking about ways to invest your money. How closely do you work with Rick Ross as a franchise operator?
He's a big fan of Wingstop, and we appreciate his support. He's not closely involved necessarily with the operations, as you might expect, but definitely a fan of Wingstop, and we appreciate him and his support.
All right, Rick Ross, the boss, Michael Skipworth, big things coming to Wingstop. Wingstop CEO, thanks so much for joining us here today. Plus, Yahoo Finance's own Brooke DiPalma. Appreciate it, Mike.
Thank you.